be on time, the carpool. So my kids, I grew up always walking back and forth from um, my house in North Ogden to my school, elementary school in North Ogden, or North Ogden Junior High. And I always had the belief that, yeah, our kids could get kidnapped or something could happen to our kids, but I'm like, the chances of that are pretty low, and hopefully that never happens. But so I had the belief that it was good for children to walk back and forth from school. We got in fights, we got problems, snow fights, we got all kinds of things going on back and forth from school. Now all the parents take their kids, all the kids have cars to go to school in. They all come home with they have carpools, which is smart. It's a smart idea. There's a lot of crap going on right now with child molestation and various things like that. But anyway, I'm really glad that I got to walk back and forth from my house to school. So, but my kids, my wife had a carpool all set up with the neighbors, and when it was my turn to drive, I remember going out and honking once, honking twice, and if kids weren't ready, I left them. And if the people came to my house and the people honked on the horn for my kids to go, and my kids were not ready, I just reached out the window. I says, or I just looked out the door and says, "Hey, see you later. You guys can take off. My kids are late. They'll have to walk to school." Well, what that did was they started being on time. So they walked several times to school, but they knew that if they weren't on time, I would tell the carpool people to leave them, and if the other kids in the neighborhood were not on time, when I honked that horn, when I was taking them into school in the morning, I left them. I didn't care. Be on time for work, be on time for school. Anyway, and my other root foundational principle of this whole thing was let kids walk to school. Let them get some exercise. Our kids sit around and do nothing half the time. Let them get some exercise. So anyway, they got left. They got left a few times, and then they smarted. They got a little bit smarter. So so be on time for the carpool, or you might get left. I also did that with my roofers. If they were not there on time, I'd leave them, and they had to come out and work the same amount of time for free that they missed, because I don't want the whole crew waiting for them. I didn't want the crew waiting for people to show up late. Now that I'm getting older, I'm a little bit more relaxed in that way, but I'm a little bit more results oriented than time specific. So anyway, be on time to school. I'm sorry. Anyway, be on time for the carpool.